In this class, I'll be talking about economic resources. What is an economic resource? What is what is an economic resource? An economic resource is anything that is limited in supply and has alternative uses. Economic resource has two characteristics. The first one is that it will be limited in supply. In other words, these resources will be scarce that in relation to the demand for them. Okay. Two, we have alternative uses. Alternative uses. That is, in other words, once you allocate these resources to one thing, you can never allocate it to another thing. Say, for instance, if you have 1 hour to use, if you use that 1 hour to watch football, you can never use the same 1 hour to sleep. So, meaning that is either you use that 1 hour for football or you use it for sleep. If you use it, in other words, once an economic resource is allocated to one thing, it will deny it the opportunity to be allocated to another thing. That is what is meant by alternative use. So you can think of so many things that you have in your possession. You can think of any that is in your control, all those things in your control that are limited in supply. Think of the alternative uses of all this, that if you use them in one way, what are those things that could have, what are those ways in which you could have used them if you have not used them in certain ways. So think of them. Okay, that's economic resource for you. Okay, economic resources generally are what economists call factors of production. As all economic resources are grouped into four, we call them factors of production. Production, factors of production. Okay. Factor of production are economic resources. They are those resources that make it possible for us to produce goods and services required by human. Okay. For four factors of production. Talk of, we have what we call labor. Labor, we are talking about, when you say labor, we are talking about human efforts used in production. Human effort used in production, both mental and physical effort of human being used in production. We can talk about land as a factor of production. Land in economics goes beyond the surface of the earth. When we say land in economics, we are talking about natural resources. What do you call it? Natural resources. Land includes all natural resources you can think of, including what? The surface of earth, soil, wood, and all things you can find in land and other natural resources. Trees, okay? All these are natural resources. Vegetations, okay? Forest, all these are natural resources. Crude oil, mineral resources generally. Solid minerals, they are all natural resources, okay? So we also have what we call capital. That is man-made asset used in production. Man-made assets used in production. Used in production. Okay, man-made assets. You can think of building. You can think of machinery used in production. Okay, any man-made asset that is used in production. Okay, come under capital. And lastly, we have what we call entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Okay, entrepreneur, okay, or what we call entrepreneurial efforts. Okay, so at the elementary class we call it entrepreneur. That is the manager. Okay, so entrepreneur is the one that's a factor of production that coordinates other factors of production in order to make production of goods and services possible.